He was a man who believed he had seen it all. Born into wealth, groomed for dominance, and polished in the practices of power, he carried himself as someone untouchable and unchallenged. He had built his empire with cunning deals, careful gambles, and a steady conviction that the world belonged to those bold enough to take it. Billionaires rarely meet their match, but sometimes the smallest moment can ripple into the most unexpected consequence. On a morning brushed with the soft glow of a new sunrise, the man stepped into the pristine lobby of his corporate headquarters. Marble gleamed beneath his polished shoes, and the hum of business echoed through glass walls. Assistants, receptionists, and executives in tailored suits moved briskly like the hands of a perfect clock. Everyone belonged to the rhythm of success, except one woman. She was cleaning. With a cart of supplies and a worn cloth, she swept through corridors that executives hurried past. Her uniform was simple and practical. Her face, calm and unassuming, bore a look most people would not notice, the quiet dignity of someone who works not for applause, but to make life better, even in the smallest ways. She wasn't meant to be seen. That was how the world around her treated her. Invisible, unnoticed, unimportant, the billionaire passed by her as he always did, his attention fixed on the day's meetings and market charts. He paused, looked at her, and smiled with that brand of arrogance only someone assured of their superiority could muster. "Excuse me," he said, his voice deep and casual. She turned. A polite nod offered as she wiped a mark from the wall. "Do you speak languages?" he asked, almost playful, almost mocking. She blinked, uncertain what he meant. Before she could answer, he reached into his jacket and pulled out a small card with a sentence written in a language. "Give you $1 million," he said with boyish arrogance, "if you can translate this." The billionaire's entourage, who had gathered behind him like loyal satellites, chuckled softly at his challenge, or at most, awkwardness. "It's from a diplomat's briefing I received from overseas, but if you, a humble cleaner, can translate it, the money is yours." A mirror, script. The billionaire raised an eyebrow, a hand through his hair. For a moment, the world stopped moving. The billionaire, whose wealth and pride had taught him that money could solve anything, felt a strange pang in his chest, from someone he had never considered worth his attention. It was unsettling and fascinating all at once. Instead of finding the humor he intended, he found truth. That truth wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. Lobby of a billionaire bested by the wisdom of someone he considered beneath him. She handed the card back, smiled gently. It was a moment where ego clashed with humility, where arrogance met grace, rose in every direction, each one a testament to his success. But none of them felt as solid as a simple reflection of a truth he had ignored far too long. He called his personal assistant. She expected nothing. Her posture was respectful but confident. "And I want to apologize," not with gloating triumph, but with a warmth that touched something deep within him. "Thank you," she said quietly. He motioned for her to sit. Meetings, memos, but inside that room, time slowed. "You surprised me today," he admitted. "I didn't expect truth from someone I dismissed." She didn't flinch. "People often forget that wisdom isn't tied to wealth or education," she said gently. "There are many kinds of intelligence, and kindness matters." He nodded slowly, almost as if discovering it for the first time. Then he did something that shocked everyone, who got a later account of the story. "Not as some PR stunt," she asked as he paused. "What you said today. I've realized I need to understand people better, not just numbers and profits." She thought for a moment. He seen through her eyes the humanity he had long ignored. And she, with her genuine humility, helped him see employees, not as mere cogs in a machine, but as people with stories, struggles, and worth. Employees noticed. The culture began to shift. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't flashy. But in small ways, through respect, listening, and kindness, things started to change. People smiled more. Collaboration replaced competition. People felt seen. One day, the billionaire stood in that same lobby where it all began. He watched her greet employees, share insights in meetings, and laugh with colleagues. There was a quiet strength in her, a dignity that no title could grant. Yet now, she held a title that matched her true worth: Director of Human Relations and Cultural Growth, a role he created to ensure respect and honor were not just words on walls, but real practices in every corner of the company. That moment, the translation became a turning point not just for him, but for the entire corporation. The challenge he issued in jest had shown him something far deeper than any business strategy ever could. That humility and respect are not weaknesses, but keys to true leadership. And so the company changed. But the ripples went beyond that corporate world. People who heard the story began to see their own reflections in it, questioning how they judged others, how they overlooked kindness, and how they measured worth. Stories spread around water coolers, dinner tables, and social media. People began to realize that brightness is not always found in wealth, power, or status, but often in the gentlest souls who carry compassion in their actions. The billionaire started initiatives to support employees in their dreams. regardless of their position or background. He started scholarship funds for cleaners to pursue education. He redesigned the corporate mission around dignity, respect, and community impact. And he always credited the woman who saw truth in a backward script, reminding everyone that translation isn't just about words. It's about understanding someone's heart. Years later, that same story was repeated at conferences and gatherings, yet every time it was shared, the emphasis wasn't on the money offered, the challenge made, or even the translation accomplished. It was on what changed because someone was willing to listen without prejudice. People often ask the woman how she felt when the billionaire mocked her. She always answers with the same humble grace. I didn't feel mocked. I felt an opportunity to show that respect doesn't depend on titles. It depends on how we treat each other. And the billionaire, once arrogant and blinded by success, often says that the richest day of his life wasn't the day he signed the biggest deal of his career. It was the day he finally learned to see people, truly see them beyond what they did or who they were on paper. Because wisdom doesn't wear a suit or carry a title. Sometimes it's swept up on a cart, hidden in simplicity, and spoken with kindness. And when someone with power finally hears it, the world can change. Please like, share, and subscribe. Loverasky. We share stories the world needs to feel again.